Radhe Radhe. Welcome to Shri Radha Vinobihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Pandu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Patit Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vinobihari Ju ki jai, Radha Raman Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So we will begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Shri Gauriya Giti Guccha. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam.
Dear devotees,
please forgive us if it's on top of the cloth there. We've been having difficulty with the internet today. There we go.
Okay.
It's been cutting out a lot, so hopefully it won't from now. Srila Prabhupada's pranam. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashratya Deshakarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gaura Presthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Punya Keshava Nityanamine Adima मर्त्यचरित्राय स्वश्रितानं च पालिने जीवदुःखे सदर्काय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवर्षभानवी देवी ललिताय कृपाभये कृष्णान् सम्बन्धविज्ञान दयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमभ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये विनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसम्बोधे पदम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिय वैष्णव सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतोपङ्गो मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपरं भोज राधावदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदो श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्री श्रीराधा श्रीगोविन्ददेव प्रेष्ठादिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्त्रसरसारम्भी वंशिवततस्थितः कर्षन्देहुस्मरगोपे गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तु नः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णा भक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shito Darpanamarjanam Bhava Mahadavanni Nirvapanam Shreyadvaiyam Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyamabhum Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Shwadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Eva Kevalam Kalo Nastyeva 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 Gatiranyata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gurudev Kripa Karke, page 360. If you don't have a songbook, just scroll down to the latest post of Jiva Pavana Prabhu. He posts the bhajans in the comment section of the thread very kindly. So
Thank you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu. Dhanavad Pranam.
So just scroll to his latest post and then you can follow along with the bhajans. Gurudev Kripa Karke Mujhko Apana Lena Gurudev Kripa Karke जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय पाल गुरुवर्ग की जय गुरु परंपरा की
जय। वैष्णव ठाकुर।
कृपा करो वैष्णव ठाकुर।
Kripa Koro Vaishnava Thakur, page 40, and it starts with Kripa, K-R-P-A, K-A-R-O. Kripa Koro, page 40.
कृपा करो वैष्णव ठाकुर। कृपा करो वैष्णव संबंध जाने जा भजते भजते अभिमानो भाव Nitai Patakamala, Koti Chandra Shushitala, Jai Chayai Jagatujulai.
Page 58.
Or wherever Jiva Pavana Prabhu posts.
Please scroll down and find the lyrics to the bhajans and kirtans under Jiva Pavana Prabhu's name. He very kindly posts them, and so we can all sing and join together no matter where in the world we are. Such an amazing seva. Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Prabhu Hai Emona Durmati, page 66. Or you can find the bhajan on the comments in the thread on the comment of Jiva Bhagavatam Prabhu. He posts the bhajan there. Prabhu Hai Emana Durmati 66. Chaitanya Ghoshai Nijana Jai Jai Sundar Nanda Kumar. I don't know what page. It's just coming in my mind right now. Jaya Jaya Sundara Nanda Kumar.
Page 344.
344.
So it starts Jaya Jaya Sundara Nanda Kumar.
Turn off.
This did, that didn't.
Jaya Jaya Sundara Nanda Kumar. Jaya 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 weather here is changing, so the harmonium is getting sometimes more dry and more humid. Kalayati nayanam, dishi dishi balita, pankajamiva mridu maruta chalita.
Page 342.
Hare Krishna, page 5. Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari. Sudevi, will you give me some more water, please?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Vanchakalpatarushaśca Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Giring Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandava Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev. Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad Astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. In the same thousands of Dandava Pranam, in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad Astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga. Also, I offer my Dandava Pranam to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, including those who are present with us today. My Dandava Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So recently I encountered a couple of interesting questions regarding institutional mindsets versus transcendental mindsets. And I thought I would just speak a little bit on that before continuing going beyond Vaikuntha. Institutional mindset tells you, if you look anywhere else other than my group, then you are an aparadhi. You are an offender to your guru and your institution of your guru. If you go anywhere outside, even to another. This is the institutional mindset, and the institutional mindset is concerned with maintaining numbers. It's concerned with maintaining numbers of followers and numbers of paisa, money, and so many things like that. That's why those words would be spoken. Unless it is being spoken directly from the lips of the pure devotee who is concerned for the spiritual welfare of the disciple. Sometimes the disciple who is neophyte will want to run here and there indiscriminately, and in the process of running here and there, not understanding what is what, their heart, their shraddha, their money, their body, and other things may be taken and plundered and used and abused. So, Guru is also sometimes careful to warn, be careful for something outside. That is not an institutional mindset. Institutional mindset would make a broad statement. Don't go to anyone outside of our group. If you do so, you are aparadhi. That's institutional mindset. Oh, and you are betraying your guru. The reality, according to Shastra, Shastra has never spoken like this. We are Shastra Chakshushaha. One time I heard a group of very senior personalities speaking, tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. So Krishna is telling Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita that one should just try to learn the truth by approaching a bona fide spiritual master within our institution. And we're like, hey, wait a second. That little tag on within our group, that wasn't there. That wasn't spoken by Krishna 5,000 years ago. It wasn't there. You just added it. Excuse me. So this is called some kind of tattva abhas. It's actually disturbing the tattva, the foundational essence of the truth. That truth has descended from Krishna through parampara. In our particular parampara, Krishna Brahma Narad Vyas, all the way through to Madhavendra Puri, Ishwar Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from Mahaprabhu through Swarup Damodar Goswami, to Rupa Goswami, all through our parampara, to our Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, our Guru Varga. And it has come to us through that parampara. So my institution may not have physically existed before 40 or 50 or 20 years ago. What about all of those personalities, those pure devotees? Do they not count? Are they not included? So there's institutional consideration and there's transcendental consideration. Transcendental consideration is, if I am sincere, I will weep to Krishna from within the core of my heart, understanding the blazing forest fire of material existence that I am trapped within. And because of my sincerity, the all-merciful Lord will take a form and manifest in front of me in the form of Sri Guru, like a beautiful rain-laden cloud, which can come over that forest fire and extinguish it. Sansara davana lalidhaloka. I offer my pranam to such a spiritual master. What is the qualification for bhakti? Not only to remain within an institutional mindset. The root qualification for bhakti is the intense, greedy desire to have it. Krishna bhakti rasabhavitamati kriyatam jadikutopi labhyate tatralolyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti shukritarna labhyate. It cannot be had by millions of births of doing good activities in this world. Helping the poor, feeding the sick, or feeding the poor and helping the sick. Giving out free clothes and opening up hospitals and doing so many good deeds. These can be considered somehow related to bhakti, but not necessarily the activities of pure bhakti. So the root qualification for the attainment of Krishna Bhakti Ras is the intense, greedy desire to have it. And wherever that can be had, it must be purchased without delay. So if we have an understanding from our Guru Varga, from our Gurudev and our Guru Varga, of the tattvas, the essential truths of Guru Tattva, Krishna Tattva, Jiva Tattva, Radha Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Maya Tattva, all of these different essential foundational truths, and we are sincere within our heart, praying for shelter, praying for mercy, then we will not follow the institutional mindset. It might be that we are within an institution, but we are not bound to an institution if that institution no longer serves the purpose of awakening greed in the heart for Krishna Bhakti Rasa. If it holds one back and holds one down from progressing. What is the final proof of this? When Krishna played his flute in Vangshivat on a dark night with the full moon, feeling desire for us, at that moment the gopis broke the bondage of every societal institution, everything that was considered respectable in society, and ran to please Krishna. Our entire philosophy is based on that adirasa, that thing, running to Krishna, running to serve Krishna. And so many will try to hold you back. But this is not prescribed in Shastra. What does Shastra say? Tishtan Braje Tad Anuragi Jananugami. Reside in Braj under the guidance, in Vrindavan, under the guidance of any Braj Rasik Anuragi, eternal associate of Krishna. And serve under them, learn under them. Be under their guidance. It doesn't say any institutional consideration there. So sometimes we hear things which create confusion. Yes, if I'm very weak, then I may need to be in very, very careful guidance, and all of us need to be in careful guidance. But what did our Gurudev preach? Our Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. He preached Guru Tattva. He preached essential truth. He preached that wherever the pure devotee is speaking Harikatha, we should run there and drink that Harikatha. He himself was the personal example. So many different devotees from so many institutions came to hear from him. And he didn't say, no, I'm not part of your institution. Go back, get out of here. No, he said, you're welcome. You're welcome to be here. You're welcome to listen. If you're not allowed to go back, then I'll have to take care of you. And you're welcome. So he opened his arms and accepted everyone from so many different groups. He showed by his own example that wherever the pure devotee is, and they are speaking Harikatha, one should run there and drink the nectar of that Harikatha. If we are bound by material considerations, institutional or organized religious considerations, I'm using the word organized religion very carefully, and that ends up becoming an impediment for one's progress in bhakti, then is it still considered favorable for bhakti? Maybe for someone's bhakti, but maybe not for yours. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada talked about the living spiritual movement. There's an article entitled Organized Religion. Jiva Pavana Prabhu, can you please post the link for that? It's in bblmu.org. Organized Religion. And he said when the spiritual head, when the pure devotee departs physically from that physical institution, it can begin to turn into something else very quickly. And it can actually be a dam which blocks that flow. It can become a dam which blocks the flow of bhakti. Our Gurudev used to warn us, don't try to take a bucket of water out of the river of bhakti thinking that now I have collected bhakti. If you put your bucket of water over here, gradually over time, if it's just sitting, it will begin to stagnate and rot. Rather, we should dive in and drown ourselves in that river and ocean of bhakti ras. It's a very different conception. And sometimes the well that we have dug, because we have thrown so many chemicals and toxins and things in that well, we used it as a landfill, it becomes no longer suitable to drink from. So we might have to dig another well or go to the source of that. I told before how when I was living in the Fiji Islands, the person who lived down the hill from us, he had 5, 6 children. And he would come up the hill with all of his children and his wife, all carrying little pots for collecting water from our water tank. We had a big roof, and the water would come off the roof and fill up the water tanks. And so he would come, can we please have some water? Every day. And I said, well, why don't you just get water from your well? Didn't your father dig a borehole? It's near the ocean. They would dig a well, and the water would filter underneath into that well and would be completely salt-free and very clean and good for drinking and using for cooking and gardens and everything. And I said, what happened to the borehole that his father had dug too? He said, what happened to that? He said, oh, I didn't understand the value. And so I threw all of our garbage in it, like it was a garbage pit over time, paint and this and that and chemicals and everything else. and I filled it with that, so now it's no longer usable. This can happen also within institutions. We are not searching after institutional consciousness. We're searching after pure bhakti. We are searching after Krishna consciousness. And wherever that pure bhakti can be attained, we must purchase that without delay. That is in the translation of that verse, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati. This doesn't mean that when someone feels a little bit like, oh my God, I don't like this, so let me... No, one should have a very strong foundational understanding of what is Krishna Bhakti, what is Tattva, what is Guru Tattva, what is Jiva Tattva. And then from that perspective, when one is actually developing a little bit, then they can make an informed decision. But just, oh, I don't like waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so let me find a group that allows me to wake up a little later. That's something else. That's selfish-mindedness. That has nothing to do with what is pleasing for Krishna. But searching for what is pleasing to Krishna and what is pleasing for Gurudev, what is pleasing to the Vaishnavas, this is essential. Accepting what is favorable for the development of bhakti, this is the first symptom of surrender, sharanagati. And rejecting what is unfavorable for the development of bhakti, this is also essential if we want to progress. I'm just making sure here. Okay. So it is essential if we want to progress on the path of bhakti. If someone remains in a situation which is based on material sentimentality, then that association will also cause one to become materially sentimental. And then the tendency will be to superimpose the material onto the spiritual, or the spiritual onto the material, but to mix it. And then when you search, you will find, hey, where's the bhakti? Where's the devotion? Where's the purity? I've lost that enthusiasm, or my enthusiasm is dragging me away from the essential path. You will look one day and you will look around and say, oh my God, I don't recognize this anymore. This is not what my Gurudev gave. It is so far different that it is not recognizable. And then you realize, wait a second, something isn't right here. I was following the path of sentimentality. I was giving my faith, my heart, my shraddha, my energy without having a foundation. What is my foundation? My foundation is not to support and maintain association with Vaishnava aparadhis, Guru aparadhis, those persons who are whimsically changing the teachings and twisting the teachings of our Gurudev and our Guru Varga. This is not what my foundation should be. It should not be associating with those who are Shri Sangi, who are Sahajya, who are Apasampradaya, for any reason. All of these terms are things we should eventually learn, so I'm not going to go deep into their definitions. But not to accept anything or just everything in the name of bhakti. We should have some kind of personal, I'm going to use a word which has a negative connotation, but we should look at it with a positive connotation. A personal agenda to progress in bhakti. And if my agenda is such, then I should become well versed in bhakti siddhanta, in bhakti tattva. I have a responsibility to myself to not be fooled again and again and again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. To be fooled again and again in the name of bhakti. And we have been again and again and again. Even under the nose of Srila Gurudev, as we're there in his direct guidance, so many were giving their shraddha, their faith here and there. And subsequently they saw that those persons that they were propping up to the highest levels were dropping off. Wait a second, what's going on? I had done that. I gave my heart, I gave my faith, And I had taken it from the lotus feet of my Gurudev and placed it in the feet of some conditioned soul who has the tendency to fall down. So we should take shelter, Srila Prabhupada says, of that highest level devotee who doesn't have that tendency to fall down. Otherwise it will create havoc within the heart of the aspirant, of the sincere student. It will create havoc, it will create chaos if one's spiritual leader has some difficulty. So we should be very, very careful to understand Guru Tattva. What is Sri Guru? What is the qualification for Guru? It's not a simple, cheap thing. It's not like, a dime a dozen, potatoes in the sabji market. It's not like that. Guru is something very, very essential. What is the quality? What are the qualities of a pure devotee? What are the qualities of a middle-class devotee? What are the qualities of the neophyte devotee? What are the qualities of those who are actually not devotees but demonic, who are taking the clothes of pretending to be devotees? There's so many different classifications. Krishna speaks about them, Rupa Goswami speaks about them, Prabhupada speaks about them, all of our Shastra and Acharyas speak about them. Why? So that we can have some discrimination, vivek, so that we can understand what is favorable and what is not favorable, so that we can avoid the unfavorable and embrace what is favorable and run on the path of bhakti. So institutional considerations may be there, but they should only be utilized to the extent that they are favorable for the progression of bhakti. If it becomes unfavorable and starts actually becoming negative, not just unfavorable, but what's that word? Regressive. Regressive. That you're going down, away. Excuse me, I'm just going to turn off this volume here. Going down or going away from the path of devotion. Then some sincere questioning needs to be done. How can I follow that path which is favorable for developing bhakti? I want to progress. I want to have enthusiasm. I want to have determination. I want to have intense greed for the service of Krishna. How can I awaken that? Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja explained, he told when we just arrived in his new temple in Govardhan. It was still a big cement structure at that time. First time he spoke inside that temple to all of us, and he said, don't be attached to these walls. One day they will crumble. Even one day Thakurji will also disappear. You should only be attached to that place where Harikatha is being spoken by the pure devotee. You should only be attached to that place where Harikatha is being spoken by the pure devotee. And this is so essential. Srimad Bhagavatam confirms this in that verse, Dharma svanushtita pungsham vishvakshena katasya notpadayet yaridatim shrama evahi kevalam. All of the activities that one performs, if they do not do it for the purpose of awakening rati, attraction, for hearing the Harikatha of Krishna from the lips of the pure devotees, it is all considered hard, useless labor. So how can I awaken that attraction for Harikatha? Hearing about Krishna. Not just hearing about my anarthas, not hearing about others' anarthas, not hearing about all of the nonsense of this material world. Hearing about the glories of Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. How can I develop that attraction? Only in the association of pure devotees who have that attraction. Because their nature is always remembering, speaking about, thinking about, obsessing on Krishna and Krishna Bhakti Ras. Then being in their association, what will you hear? What is their obsession? That will manifest externally. One time, we heard from Pujapad Bhaktivedanta Ban Maharaj. He said, what is kirtan? What is real kirtan? He said, when shravan, when hearing, it fills you up so much that you can no longer contain it and it starts coming out. You can no longer help it. It has a constant flow outward. He said, that is kirtan. Shravana kirtan. So who is so full of harikatha that it must spill outward? It's beautiful. This is the nature of those pure devotees. They cannot help themselves. That is their treasure. Or as Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj said, once the prema lata, this bhakti lata grows and binds itself to the lotus feet of Krishna and manifests fruits of prema. At that time, that jiva or that personality, you wouldn't call them jiva anymore, they have attained perfection, so they are nitya siddha parikara. But they have relished those fruits of prema, but so many fruits are there, they have this inclination to distribute those fruits to everyone. Those beautiful, sweet fruits. And you see that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, how Mahaprabhu is distributing those fruits. And so many receive so much, and they're distributing them as well. Like our Gurudev said, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. He said it in 26 Second Avenue when he visited in 1996. He said, so Nayana Mani Manjari had so many of these sweet, beautiful jewels that she wanted to give to this world. And she called her maidservant, oh, you should come here and distribute these jewels to the world. This maidservant, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, our Srila Prabhupada. When Gurudev was telling this, he was weeping and weeping. That, oh, you should distribute these jewels to the world. How many jewels are there? These beautiful jewels of Krishna Bhakti Ras. So on that note, that very sweet note, now I would like to continue going beyond Vaikuntha with all of you. This transcendental literature is the treasure of the heart of Sri Sanatan Goswami as Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and the treasure of our Gurudev as he is opening and revealing that treasure. So many more jewels are manifesting in the form of Rasik and Bhavuk Harikatha. And so we will pray in the dust of their lotus feet in the words of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairag Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnair Apayanam Mam Anubhipshamandam Kripam Budirya Paradukuduki Sanatanaspam Prabhum Ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods which are present within these pages manifest within our hearts. Dandava Pranam Jamunadasi. How is Sudevi? Why does she not appear on the video? We miss her, and her heartfelt Harikatha is always so inspiring. I agree. Her heartfelt Harikatha is always so inspiring.
I'm here.
She's here. She's listening. But she's more of an introvert by nature. And my nature is, I'm an extrovert. So she's the Shakti supporting everything. And if I say anything wrong, trust me, she will let me know. So I'm very confident of that she will help to look out for me, that I'm maintaining the line of thought of our Gurudev and Guru Varga. And so just know that she's backing and supporting, and she is present. Okay, so yesterday, Srila Gurudeva said, therefore we should depend fully on the grace of the Vaishnavas, the spiritual master, and Bhagavan, and we should not try on our own to escape this entrapment. Don't even bother trying on your own. It's not possible. How do we escape? We must hold on to those ropes, the mercy ropes who are sent by Krishna. These mercy ropes are the forms of Guru and Vaishnavas, wherever they are. However, we can hold on to those ropes. We can only have one Diksha Guru, but many Shiksha Gurus. And if those Shiksha Gurus, means the Vaishnavas, or our Guru, can help us to awaken our intrinsic loving, serving nature toward Radha and Krishna, Rupanuga Bhav, if they can help us to awaken that, then that is favorable for our progression on the path of bhakti. But they must also be within the line or respectful toward our Gurudev, and this is essential. So this is where a little bit what it sounds like institutional thought process comes in, but it's not, because it's according to Shastra. Guru Nishtha, firm conviction in the teachings of one's own Gurudev. As long as their Gurudev is pure and transcendental and not a false or fake person, means a pretender, if that Guru is truly a Guru, heavy, saturated with Krishna and with love and affection for Krishna, the function of all others is to increase our faith in our Gurudev. If they take us away from faith in our Gurudev, then they are not fit to be in that position and not fit to be association for us either. If they twist, shift, change, manipulate, or make us lose faith in the teachings of our transcendental Gurudev, or weaken our conviction, then this is considered unfavorable association. Because without the mercy of Guru, one cannot move forward on the path of sadhana bhakti. Guru kripa bina nahi koi sadhana bal. One will have no strength to move forward on the path of sadhana. Without firm conviction in the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev, Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadhana. The only way to attain pure bhakti is taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Sri Guru is the one who awakens our transcendental relationship with Krishna, who makes Krishna appear in our hearts. So the function of all other Vaishnavas should be to somehow increase our faith in our Gurudev, not to decrease it. So this is essential. And this is according to Shastra. This is not institutionalized thought. This is foundational, essential for the jiva to take shelter of Sri Guru. And to the extent that someone increases my faith in the teachings of my Gurudev, I will consider that favorable association. And to the extent that they are twisting, shifting, changing, removing, or anything like that, I will consider it unfavorable association. And this is essential for any sincere seeker of truth. Now, Krishna said, first of all, you should worship Sri Guru. This means not to offer incense and fire. Our Gurudev explained what is real Vyas Puja. To submit oneself and fully saturate themselves with the conceptions, the siddhanta, the moods, the bhavs, the teachings. Fully apply it in one's life. That is real Guru Puja. Not just offering incense and fire. That's easy to do. This thing, the other thing, real Guru Puja is something different. So pratamam tu gurum pujam. First of all, serve Sri Gurudev. Do puja, real puja of Gurudev. Then you can serve Krishna. Otherwise, everything else will be considered without merit, without fruit. So this is essential. This is an essential teaching in Shastra. Tattva Siddhanta. And this is necessary for us if we want to progress on the path of bhakti. So when Gurudev is saying this, don't even try on your own to escape this entrapment. That is also there in Shastra, that the jiva cannot extract themselves by their own power. It's not possible. How do we extract ourselves? We can't. We can only cry and pray for mercy, and that mercy descends in the form of Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, Vaishnavas. That's how we will know that Krishna has heard our prayers. Our Guru Varga has explained this. If you're crying and praying to Krishna, how do you know that He's heard your prayers? You will know for sure and certain that He's heard your prayers when the form of His mercy is standing in front of you as Sri Guru. And everything Krishna wants to tell you, He's telling through the mouth of Guru. Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya. The words emanating from His lotus mouth. That is what Krishna wants to tell you. And that will purify your consciousness. Ar na kori homare asha. I have no hope or desire for anything else than this. And what we want to tell Krishna, we can also speak to our Gurudev, and he will transfer that mood to Krishna. So transparent by a medium, as we've spoken. So next, Narada Muni told Gopakumar, here in Vaikuntha you will see many different incarnations. One type is Vyashti, and one is Samasti, or that is Samashti. Who is the Samashti avatar? Krishna himself. As we are Vyashti Jivas, and the Samashti Jiva is Hiranyagarbha Brahma, there are so many expanded incarnations such as Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, Parshuram, and Vaman. But don't consider Krishna to be like them. Krishna is Samashti. Samashti means the root or the seed from whom everything else is emanating. Samashti. Like when we say Sarva Karana Karana, he's the prime cause of all other causes. So Samashti. The seed or the root of all incarnations. And from this original seed, different forms come. From a mango seed, I love this katha. From a mango seed, a neem tree will not come. Nor will bananas, or guavas come from this mango seed. But Krishna is such a seed that he is the seed of everything. Such a very wonderful seed is Krishna. So in general, we will see that from a mango seed, any other tree doesn't come except for a mango tree. But Krishna is the original seed of all seeds. So from him manifests everything. All varieties. That's amazing. Like when Brahma was creating in this time of creation in the beginning of the universe, by the power of Kam Gayatri that he received from Krishna in the form of Kling Shabda, from Krishna's flute. This gave him the power to create. And by that he created so many different things. Although he's the same Brahma, he created all of the different species. And so you could say he's the seed of all of those species. But who is the seed of Brahma? Well, that is Mahavishnu. And who is the seed of that? That is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Who is the seed of that Garbhodakshaya Vishnu? That is Karanadakshaya Vishnu. And where does he come from? Well, he has his source in Narayan. Where does he come from? He has his source in Mahasankarshan. Where does he come from? From Mool Sankarshan. Where does he come from? From Baladev Prabhu. Where does he come from? From Krishna. So Krishna is the root, seed of everything. So he is Samashti. Therefore, he expands into all of the incarnations by his Achintya Shakti. Achintya Shakti means inconceivable potency. The material mind and intelligence and ego cannot, or the senses, cannot comprehend or conceive of that which is beyond the material mind, intelligence, and senses. However, by the mercy of Krishna, manifesting through the form of Guru and Vaishnavas and Shastra, through Harikatha, then we are receiving transcendental knowledge. By that, we may receive the capacity to understand something. And as our hearts are becoming more and more pure, by their mercy and by the power of the holy names of Krishna, then we can begin to understand something. But it is impossible to understand everything. Even Krishna is endeavoring to understand the love of Sri Radha in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What to speak of us, very small jivas. And yet we will still be able to understand something by the grace of that transcendental energy. So Achintya Shakti. This is possible only for Krishna and no one else. For him to expand into all of the incarnations by his inconceivable potency. Narayan may also have incarnations. For some purpose, an incarnation may emerge from him. But the special difference between Narayan and Krishna is that even if Narayan does assume an incarnation, he will not perform variegated pastimes. Krishna is Avatari, the source of all incarnations, and when he personally descends, he performs unlimited, variegated pastimes. Plus, Krishna possesses 4 extra special qualities of Madhurya that Narayan does not. So Krishna is said to possess 64 qualities. Narayan is said to possess 60. Those 4 qualities are special sweetnesses that you can only find in Krishna and in no other form, no other avatar. You cannot find them in Narayan either. Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Rup Madhuri, and Prema Madhuri. Some say Guna Madhuri. The sweetness of his loving dealings with his devotees. You will only find this with Krishna, not with Narayan. The sweetness of flute. Madhurya, Venu Madhuri. You will only find this in Braja Krishna, not in Dwarkadish, not in Narayan. When Dwarkadish Krishna saw Gopkumar holding a flute, that's when he started crying, because he was remembering. Some echo is there inside him. Oh, remembering Vrindavan in the mood of Braj. Dwarkadish is a king in Dwarka. He's not playing a flute, not a bamboo flute. He's got 4 arms and Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and 16,108 queens, 16,108 palaces, 10 sons from each queen, 1 daughter from each queen, millions and millions of servants and ministers and associates. He's a very busy person, killing demons and fighting wars and kidnapping princesses and marrying them and saving others. He's doing so much. Krishna in Vrindavan is simply absorbed in the sweetness of his loving relationships with the Brajavasis, with his parents and all elders of Braj, with his cows and calves and his friends and his gopis. And his flute, that is his favorite instrument. Shriya Kantaha Kantaha Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Duruma Bhumischintamani Ganamayi Toyam Amritam Kataganam Natyam Gamanamabi Vangshi Priyasaki. His flute is his dearest Sakhi. Vangshi Priyasaki. Sri Brahma Samhita tells us, Vangshi Priyasaki. And the gopis themselves are jealous of that flute. Why is that piece of bamboo, that dry thing, receiving what is our property? The touch of Krishna's lips at every moment. And they become jealous of that flute. You can read about it in Srimad Bhagavatam or hear it from any pure Vaisnava. How is it that that dull piece of bamboo is receiving what belongs to us? And even that desire, oh, if only I could take birth as bamboo and become Krishna's flute. These kinds of moods manifest. So, Rup Madhuri. Venu Madhuri only in Vrindavan. His flute, sweetness, you only find in Vrindavan. Rup Madhuri, the sweetness of Krishna's form. We don't hear it anywhere else, but we hear about Krishna in Vrindavan. Kandarpa Kotika, what is it? Venum Kvanantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Bharahavatam Samsitam Burusundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Millions of cupids, only one of whom is sufficient to completely bewilder the entire material universe. This is Kandarpa. Kandarpa means Cupid. Kandarpa has another name, Madan, or Kamadev. So in Vedic conception, everything has a personification. That thing which pierces the heart, makes the heart go boom, boom, boom. Why is my heart pounding? When with one glance you see somebody and your heart starts pounding like that, what do you call it, a crush? What is known as actually the desire to enjoy. I want that for my enjoyment. That is known as lust in this material world, and that is predominated by a deity known as Kamadev. Now this Kamadev had tried to bewilder and disturb the mind of Lord Shiva. He came there and tried to fire his arrows of lust at Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was meditating on his Ishtadev, Sankarshan Ram, chanting the name of Ram, Ram, Ram. And at that time, what happened? This Kamadev was trying to disturb him. Lord Shiva opened his third eye and zapped Kamadev. Literally burnt him to ashes. And so from that moment on, he became unseen. So ananga. So no one sees him. We don't know where he is, but still that piercing comes in the heart. You're walking down the road thinking, I'm such a good devotee. I chanted 32 rounds today. Hari bol. Like, how is everyone doing? I'm in Vrindavan. And then one glance, boom, the heart starts moving like that. Hey, how did that happen? This is Kamadev, the personification of lust that bewilders the mind of everyone in this world. Arjuna asked Krishna, what is it? What is that thing that makes you do that thing that you know you shouldn't do? And even it's against your own better judgment and your own will, but you cannot help yourself. You seem bound to follow that. What?
Sorry, I just said it is lust. Sorry.
Krishna said it is lust only, the all-devouring, simple enemy of this world. Lust only. So that thing is so powerful that it can control the entire universe. And that is how this entire material world is moving. That is how it is functioning, with that one foundational principle. The desire to be the enjoyer, separate from Krishna. And it is said, Kandarpa Koti. Koti means thousands or millions. Kandarpa, millions of these kinds of cupids, Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham, are completely put to shame, completely bewildered, completely fall flat, pale in comparison to even one particle of dust on the feet of Krishna. How beautiful is Krishna? Therefore, Krishna is known as Madan Mohan, who attracts and bewilders the mind of Cupid himself. How beautiful and attractive is Krishna. And so there is something else. There is transcendental love and affection. And we chant it in our mantras. The last mantra after Gopal mantra, which is known as Kam Gayatri, we actually chant a prayer to love itself, but not material love. Transcendental love. With the essence of transcendental calm. Not material calm, transcendental calm. May that love awaken in my heart. But what is that love? That love is actually to be in love with the love of Radha and Krishna. How beautiful is that? To be in love with their love. And that is the mood of all true Rupanuga Vaishnavas. So I mentioned Venu Madhuri, Rup Madhuri, Prem Madhuri, the nature of the love of the Brajabasis for Krishna, and Krishna for the Brajabasis, the nature of the expression of their love for each other. We don't find that anywhere else in any other form. The beauty and the sweetness of the prem that one can find in Vrindavan. That prem is controlling everything. It is controlling Krishna. It is controlling all of the inhabitants of Braj. Everything there is saturated with the most beautiful, sweet kind of divine, transcendental love and affection. Excuse me. It's not ecstatic symptoms. It's just... So the sweetness of Krishna's form, the sweetness of Krishna's prem madhuri, the sweetness of Krishna's flute, this is a madhurya. Sweetness, okay. Rup madhuri, lila madhuri, the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes. We don't see that or find that anywhere else in all of existence other than Braj. Ram Leela has so many sweetnesses, but he's not able to fulfill the desires of everyone. How? All of those sages, the rishis in the forest, Dandakaranya, when they saw Ram, their hearts, their souls, which are not actually in the gender of old men are actually inherently in the gender of young, beautiful gopis. They immediately became attracted to Ram. But Ram could not fulfill their desires like this. So he said, you take birth from the wombs of gopis, and I will manifest as Krishna, and then I will fulfill all of your desires. The same with all the Rajkumaris in Janakpur. Sita was not the only one who fell in love with Ram. All of them fell in love with Ram. But Ram made a vow, only one wife, Ekapatni Vrat. What about the rest of them? He could not fulfill their desires or satisfy their desires. So when he came back as Krishna, they had all taken birth from the wombs of gopis. And then they entered into his pastimes, and he was able to fulfill all of their desires. Even Surpanak, the sister of Ravan, she assumed a very beautiful form. And she approached Ram. And Ram said, I'm sorry, made a vow, only one wife. But she approached Ram with lust. According to Shastra, akama sarvakama va mokshakama udharati, whatever way you approach the Lord, you can attain perfection. But she was not able to have it fulfilled through Sri Ram. Instead, Ram had her maimed so that no one else would want her because she had completely given her heart to him. So when he came back as Krishna, when he went to Mathura, she was one of the first persons he went to meet. She had taken birth as Kubja. And Kubja, the moment she saw Krishna, her heart inflamed with desire to enjoy with Krishna. And Krishna stepped on her, he received all of the chandan that she had made for King Kamsa. And Krishna put his feet on her toes, lifted her chin, straightened her up, made her very beautiful, and then satisfied all of her desires. Only Krishna is able to fulfill the desires of everyone. This is the speciality of Krishna. So is Leela Madhuri. Gurudeva is saying here that Narayan will not perform variegated pastimes, but Krishna is the source of all avatars, the avatari. And when he personally descends, he performs unlimited variegated pastimes. Plus, Krishna possesses these 4 extra special qualities of Madhurya that Narayan does not. In Vaikuntha, only up to, there's Shantaras and a little bit of Dasyaras. But in Vrindavan, all of the rasas are there to their maximum extent. So Narad is explaining all of this to Gopkumar. You desire to witness all of these pastimes, but how will you see them here? Where is Gopkumar at this time? Here in Vaikuntha. So Narad noticed that Gopkumar was feeling dissatisfied in his heart. He had made it to Vaikuntha. And everyone else there is like, this is perfection, because that is their perfection. That is their eternal inherent relationship with the Lord. In Aishvarya Gyan, with knowledge of the opulence of God, with admiration for him in either a neutral rasa or with some slight dasya, means servitude, mood, but not beyond that. And they're feeling like this is perfection. What's more than this? But Gopkumar in his heart is feeling a little dissatisfied. Hey, wait a second. It's not, I'm going to use this word, it's not grooving with my nature. I don't feel aligned with this. Something isn't right. Narada Muni detected that because this is the function of Guru, to detect the internal nature of the disciple and to direct them accordingly toward their particular goal. And Narada Muni detected it and then began telling him, you desire to witness all of these pastimes of Krishna, but how will you see them here? Not out loud, but secretly, Narada is telling him, because he doesn't want to disturb the moods of everyone else. They have firm conviction that this is the best. Gurudev said even in Vrindavan, the insects feel this is the best. The deer feel this is the best. Everyone who's in their eternal, inherent, unique, individual, eternal functioning position will feel this is perfection. Why would I want anything else? So Narada is telling him secretly, Krishna can do the work of the Vaman incarnation. Alone, Krishna can do the work of all of the Vishnu incarnations. The Manvantar incarnations, the Shakti-avesh avatars, the Leela avatars, anything that Narayan does, Krishna can do also. No one else can do all of this. It is a special quality of Krishna. So we must understand from this that the source, the origin of everything, has the capacity within himself to do the activity of any of his own manifestations. Does that make sense? Because he's the source. He is complete in himself. Om Purnam Madak Purna Purnamidam Purna Mudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. He is complete and he can expand himself unlimitedly and he never loses his completeness. If they're manifesting out from him, even though Narayan is there, he's still here. That is how Krishna in Vrindavan kills the demons. Krishna himself doesn't really kill them. It is said to be the Vishnu avatars, or those who kill demons, those functions within himself. But they're also within himself. But he is the source of them. Chaitanya Charitamrita states that. It is not Krishna who is killing the demons. Krishna is simply playing and engaging in ras. It is the function of Vishnu or Narayan to kill the demons. So it is the Vishnu avatars within Krishna who are killing the demons. Krishna himself is just like a little boy. When he's holding on to the neck of Trinavarta, he's holding on because he's going too high. And then somehow Vishnu within him choked him out. Rasagulas came from his eyes. Gurudeva would say like rasagula. Like that, and he fell down to the ground. Krishna was simply sucking the milk of Putana. He was a little baby sucking her milk. But within himself is the Vishnu avatar, recognizing, oh, this is the demoness. So, sucked out her milk and her life and everything. But then how merciful is Krishna? He still gave her the eternal position of a nursemaid in Goloka Vrindavan because she approached him as such. So Krishna alone can do the work of all of the Vishnu incarnations, all of the different avatars, Leela avatars, Shakti Avesh. He can do everything that Narayan can do also, but no one else can do all of this. It is a special quality of Krishna. The word Bhagavan means what? We use this word Bhagavan. Bhagavan. Bhaga means opulences. 6 in all. And Van means he who possesses them. Many men of this world possess some opulence, but complete opulence is found only in Narayan or in his incarnations. And where is opulence more complete? In Krishna of Dwarka and Mathura. And where is the opulence the most complete? In Brajendrananda, that is Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj of Vrindavan. So, wait a second, I thought that we're not supposed to see that opulence is in Vrindavan. That's Aishwarya Gyan, knowledge of the opulence of the Absolute. However, we should understand that the source of all other incarnations must then also possess the source of all opulence. It is just covered so overwhelmingly by madhurya or sweetness that it is rarely recognized. Sometimes it peeks its head out, like a dry straw in 40 manas of boiling milk. You've seen boiling milk? If there's any straw in there, sometimes it will come to the top. It will poke its head out and then back underneath again. So what is this? Gurudev said there's more Aishwarya, more opulence, and a single particle of dust of Vrindavan than in all of the Vaikuntha planets combined. Unprecedentedly amazing. Than in all Vaikuntha planets combined. And there's more opulence in one dust particle of Radha Kunda than in all of Braj combined. But there's so much sweetness there that it's completely covered over by that madhuryata. So we should not think that Vrindavan is devoid of opulence. It is just that opulence is drowning in oceans of prema. So where is the opulence most complete? In Brajendra Nandan. So Gurudev here is saying, Bhaga means opulence and Ban means he who possesses them. So there are 6 main opulences. So in Vrindavan we will find full wealth, Aishwarya, in Brajendra Nandan, full strength, Virya, full fame, Yasha, full beauty, Shri, full knowledge, Gyan, and all renunciation, Vairagya. So then Gurudev quotes this verse from Vishnu Purana 6.574. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashashriya jnana vairagyayos chapi sanam bhaga itingana. This is the verse which defines these 6 opulences. Aishwaryasya, all opulences are present. What is it? Aishwarya, Virya, Yasha, Shri, Jnana and Vairagya. All wealth, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. These 6 are found only in their fullest extent within Krishna. Gurudev says all of them are found within Narayan and the incarnations also. Like Aishwarya, opulence. What is that opulence of Vamandev? He appeared very small, but at the time of measuring the earth, he immediately became wonderfully huge and in 3 steps covered the entire universe. So how is that for opulence? This is Aishwarya. Ramchandra, taking all of the monkeys and bears with him, attacked Lanka and cut off Ravan's head. But a new head emerged. Each time he cut off Ravana's head, it would return. So this is interesting. Normally we think of Ravan having 10 heads simultaneously. But here Gurudev is saying, Ram cut off one of his heads, but immediately another one popped in its place. Does that mean he had 10 heads? Means like a cat has 9 lives. So Ravana had 10 heads, separate or all at the same time. A 10-headed demon Ravan. Each time he cut off Ravan's head, it would return. Finally, he made a plan where by cutting off Ravan's 10 heads, they would not return, and Ravan was killed. This is Aishwarya. I don't know. Can anyone tell me?
It sounds like they would pop back up until he took off all 10 at once. That's what it sounds like, what you read.
To me, it sounds like Ravan had 1 head, but he got 10 chances.
No, it sounds to me like he had 10 heads, and each time that one was taken off, another would pop up until all 10 heads were taken off at once.
Okay, well, if someone can clarify that for me, that would be very interesting. We know that Brahma had 4 heads, so why can't Ravan have 10, right? So, Dwarkadish Krishna possesses so much opulence, and all of the other incarnations possess so much opulence. But Krishna's opulence is especially marvelous. Now, when Gurudev is talking about Krishna, you can tell he's completely smitten. How Krishna's opulence is especially marvelous. As a small boy, he was at the breast of Putana, drinking and drinking, and no one knew what he was actually doing. He would not leave her breast, so they thought that maybe he was only playing. Then he sucked out her life. He was thinking, I don't like anyone to come to Vrindavan and then leave again. She has entered within the boundaries of Braj, therefore I will not allow her to ever leave. This would be a very interesting commentary on Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, anyone who has come to my abode, they will never have to leave again. Here he's saying, I never want them to leave again. That's kind of hopeful. Even if you approach as a demon, Krishna won't let you leave. This is Aishwarya, and it reaches its zenith in Krishna. There is some renunciation, Vairagya, in Ram. He left his kingdom, but he didn't leave Sita. He left together with her. Krishna's Vairagya. Here's your answer, Devaki. Krishna's Vairagya is such that hundreds of thousands of gopis were collected together at a very pure place, and a cool breeze was blowing. Both Kishore and Kishoris were there, but at once he disappeared. Krishna had such a strong feeling of vairagya that right before his eyes, 56 million members of the Yadu dynasty took canes and sticks and fought and killed one another. Even his own son was finished and fell to the ground. Yet Krishna, neither smiling nor worrying, nor saving anyone, just sat quietly with his legs crossed. Why? His vision was that all of this fighting and killing was just an indrajala, a magical illusion. Therefore, the pinnacle of all 6 opulences is found only in Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Ete changsakala pungsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. All of these incarnations are either plenary portions or parts of plenary portions of the Purusha avatars, but Krishna is Bhagavan himself. Narad told Gopkumar, Swayam Bhagavan, Krishna's pastimes are variegated, his affection is variegated, his prem is variegated, and his associates are variegated. Anyone who has had even half of a taste of this immense variegatedness by hearing about it simply cannot remain here in Vaikuntha. So who do we know that could not simply remain in Vaikuntha? Lakshmi Devi herself. She had heard about Krishna and the sweetness of his pastimes, the sweetness of his madhuris, his Venu Madhuri, Lila Madhuri, Rup Madhuri, and Prema Madhuri. And she was thinking, whenever my Prabhu goes anywhere, whenever he takes any manifestation, any form, I always go along with him, but not in this form. I must certainly go there as well. So Lakshmi Devi herself came and she wanted to meet with Krishna. So she had a meeting with Krishna. I also want to enter your pastimes. I'm there with all of your other pastimes, but not this one. And Krishna said, sure, you can enter, but there's some requirements. She said, okay, whatever they are, I can do it. He said, well, you'll have to take birth from the womb of any gopi and become a gop. You'll have to give up your Brahmani caste. She's like, okay, I can do that. She is known as the topmost Brahmani. I can do that. And you will have to make butter from yogurt, churning. Okay, I can do that. And you'll have to make cow dung patties. You know, you mix cow dung with a little bit of dry straw and make it in pat and put it on a wall so it dries up, and then you use it for cooking, for fuel. And she was like, okay, yes, of course I can do that. And he said in last requirement, Vrindavan, this is the place of Parakiya Ras. Parakiya means that only those who are married to other gops can engage in ras with me. So you will have to marry any other gopa, any other cowherd boy, and then you will have to sneak away from them and come to me. She said, but I am eternally your wife. How can I marry another? I'm already married to you. Krishna said, that's a requirement. But she was like, but how can I do that? He said, that's the requirement. So to this day, Lakshmi Devi is still across Jamuna over there in a place we call Belman, which previously was known as Shrivan. Shrivan means the forest of Srimati Radhika. And what is she doing there? No one can enter Ras, no one can enter Braj without the mercy of Srimati Radhika. So she's praying for the mercy of the origin of all Lakshmis, Sarva Lakshmi Mai Srimati Radhika. Lakshmi Devi is praying there. This is confirmed by the wives of Kaliya, the Nagapatnis. How is it that our husband, Kaliya, although he was so sinful, still he received the mercy of your lotus feet? That he was able to receive the imprints of your lotus feet on his head when even Lakshmi Devi is not able to enter into your pastimes in Braj. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used this as proof and convinced the family of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Trimal Bhatt, Vyankata Bhatta, and Prabodhananda Saraswati, and young Gopal Bhatta, of the superiority of Krishna and his pastimes in Vrindavan over all others, that even the consort of Sriman Narayan, Lakshmi Devi herself, is doing intense austerities to this day to be able to enter into the pastimes, the Rasalila pastimes of Krishna. Even Lakshmi wants to go beyond Vaikuntha. So, this is the speciality of Vrindavan. How beautiful, how charming, and how sweet. We cannot imagine. Krishna is so attractive that Vishnu is making arrangements for Krishna so that I can have darshan of you, Krishna. That's how attractive Krishna is. Lakshmi wants to enter into his pastimes of Braj. Uddhava wants to take birth as grass and shrubs here. All great personalities want to even have one particle of dust of the Katha here. Mahadev himself, Lord Shiva, wanted to witness these beautiful pastimes, the Rasalila pastimes, and had to take the form of a gopi as Gopishwar Mahadev, wanting to take part. Narad Muni also desired to become a gopi, to be able to see these beautiful and sweet pastimes. By the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, by the mercy of Rupa and Raghunath. Rupa Raghunath apade hoive akuti kabe haman bhujabose jugala priti. By the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, we will be able to behold Sri Vrindavan Dham. Even Baladev Prabhu, he wants to serve in every rasa. His own Shakti as Ananga Manjari is serving Radha and Krishna in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. How beautiful and how sweet are the pastimes of Vrindavan, that all great personalities, all Shastras, all of the greatest personalities, look at Mahadev himself. He's telling Uma, Kada karishyasi hamam kripa kataksha bhajanam. What beautiful sweetness. When, oh when will Srimati Radhika bestow her merciful sidelong glance? And Krishna himself is also begging for that. Kothai go prema mae radhe radhe dekadiya prana rakho. Please, I cannot maintain my life without you, Radhe. This is the place of Srimati Radhika. She is Vrindavaneshwari. And here everything is surrounding love and affection. She is the embodiment of that topmost love and affection. Mahabha Surupini Sri Radha Thakurani ki Jai. Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Rupananda Guru Varga ki Jai. Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki Jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. So next time, tomorrow is Ekadashi for us. We'll speak a little bit on Ekadashi. And then there's holy days back to back. I think it's Vaman Dwadashi and Jiva Goswami. Vaman Dwadashi is the appearance day of Vaman Dev, Vaman Avatar, and Jiva Goswami's day. Then it's Bhaktivedanta Thakur's day, Haridas Thakur's day. Oh, then Vishwarup Mahotsav, the sannyas of Prabhupada day, the sannyas of our Param Gurudev. Back to back, one awesome day after the next, after the next. How exciting is Bhakti? It's just one grand festival after another. So from next time, tomorrow, we will start with chapter 9. Krishna gives prem even to his enemies. How beautiful is that? Aho bhakiyam stanakala kutam. Vaikuntha ki jai, Sachinandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Madan Bihari Ji ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Hare Ram Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Nidai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Thank you all very much for being with us today and giving us the opportunity of remembering the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and Guru Varga, and also giving us the opportunity to do our Guru Seva, which is our life and soul. For that we are indebted. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai, Shashinandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari. Wow.